Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading. Today we are doing a friendship reading between Irene and Yeri to figure out how they get along and their dynamics. And I wanted to point out this turtle. A friend traveled, and when she came back she was like, hey, I can buy you guys gifts, and I got a little turtle. And my editor monkey was like, you know what, you should have this little turtle on your video, just kind of hanging out there. And I think it's actually perfect that we're doing a Yeri reading while we have my little turtle just hanging out. And you know what's funnier? The turtle has like purple and pink, so maybe this turtle was just meant to be in this reading for Irene and Yeri. But enough about the turtle. Let's talk about a different turtle and a bunny. Let's see how they get along, how they hang out, and how it's going. Also, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I heard this certain turtle, Yeri, has taken her own channel. And not about you guys, but are you guys subscribed? Have you guys watched the video? I will encourage you to do so now. Go support Yeri. Yeri Miyase. Okay, I actually don't know how to say her name, but yeah. Her username, I mean. Anyway, so let's see. One card to represent the relationship that Yeri and Irene have. Irene and Yeri, how do you guys get along? So the first card we have is Moon with the keyword darkness. So in this case, it feels like they both get along in a very, very deep level. Like they just kind of click. Maybe they met in a past life potentially, and that's kind of what's going on here. But it also feels like they're both like so different, like the sun and the moon, that they just kind of, they're mirrors to each other somehow. Like they reflect each other's lights. So they're both able to see the best in each other and the worst in each other because they're mirrors to each other, right? So they're both able to like kind of get along on the things that they're compatible with. Either they're very similar and that's why they get along, or they're very different but they're able to kind of balance each other out in a way where they get along, right? Like they can work it out. So with that moon card, I definitely feel like they get along in a very deep level. Like their understanding of each other is something that not a lot of people can understand. Anyway, so one card to represent Irene in this relationship. You have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And one card to represent Yeri in this relationship. I say one and two came out. We have the Emperor reversed and the Hierophant upright. These cards are following me because I just did the reading for Mina upgrade. Oh my god, update reading, and those two cards came up in her current energy. So maybe Yeri's in a similar energy. I do not know. Okay, so let's see. Continuing with this moon card, it kind of does feel like they're both able to talk about things that are very deep, things that their subconscious is like, how should I put it? Their connection is something that goes so deep that they are not even aware of how well they get along and how well they understand each other. Or maybe they do, maybe they are aware and we just don't know it. But they both really just get each other. They just worked very well with each other. I do feel that with the darkness though, they can trigger a lot on each other, so maybe there is some clashing and conflict, but we'll actually see with the other cards that come out later how this darkness manifests, right? Because when I see darkness, I just think of shadow work, right? Things that cannot be seen, things that are kind of like unknown, a mystery, or things that you have to go very deep with and understand it fully. So I do feel that this darkness keyword, with the moon right here, it's like it really depends on the situation, right? So let's see. Whew. So the card that represents Irene in this relationship is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So this kind of tells me that Irene in this dynamics, she doesn't really like to overanalyze things. She doesn't like to think about things too deeply. Like she just kind of wants to enjoy life. She just kind of wants to hang out. She doesn't want to overthink the situations that they're in or the conversations that they have. Like maybe she's okay with like analyzing the situations that they're in or the conversations that they have, but like Irene is definitely, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, it's like she doesn't want to slow down. She doesn't want to slow down because of overthinking, or hold herself back because she like she doesn't want to overcomplicate anything. This is Virgo energy, so I do feel that in this case it's like she doesn't want to slow down at all, because we have Pentacles energy, right? The Knight of Pentacles is a slowest moving knight in tarot. And also with this green, it kind of shows that in this dynamics that Irene and Yeri have, Irene is the type of person that just wants to enjoy the moment. She wants to have fun. She doesn't want to hold back. She doesn't want to slow down. She doesn't want to overthink something or overanalyze something to the point that it instills any sort of fear or hesitation in her. She just wants to have fun, follow her heart. She just wants to move forward and do things. That seems to be like the type of energy that represents Irene in this dynamic. Like she doesn't, like whatever lifestyle she has, she doesn't, whatever holds her back in her like everyday life, Irene doesn't want to bring that in the connection that she has with Yeri. She's just like, let's just power through, let's just do things. Now the energies that we have for Yeri, we have the Emperor reversed and the Hierophant upright. So in this case, I do feel that this is the energy of someone that is fearless, someone that has a lot of knowledge, someone that has the key to their conscious side and their subconscious, someone that is aware of the things that other people are not aware of. So Yeri does carry a lot of like depth to her, a lot of understanding that cannot be seen. I mean, I guess is her Pisces energy, like it kind of comes naturally to her, maybe. But with the Emperor reverse, it kind of does feel like Yeri is someone that doesn't like, yeah, she takes action, she gets things done, but I do feel that she's a type that prefers to gather knowledge a bit more. And when we have the Hierophant, there's a lot of like leadership energy that we have right here. So I do feel that the one that kind of gets to call the shots in this relationship is Yeri. So I do feel that Yeri's like, oh, what if we do this? What if we do that? And Irene is like, yeah, like, why hold back? Let's just go for it, right? So I do feel that this could be a very dangerous duo, right? Because who knows what ideas Yeri's thinking, right? Nothing bad, genuinely. It's just kind of like they could get wild, because Irene may be older, she may be the adult. Well, I mean, Yeri's an adult too, but you know what I mean. But Irene is in the mentality of like, we're just gonna have fun, we're just gonna live life. YOLO, right? That's her mentality when she's with Yeri. It's like, let's just do things, let's just get things done. So yeah. So it definitely feels like these two cards kind of show that Yeri has a lot of leadership in her, and she's kind of like the one calling the shots, the one kind of always pushing forward and moving forward. Maybe the one that's very curious and is like, I heard about this, let's try it out. Oh, why don't we do this other thing? I saw this, why don't we try it out? And all of those things. Like I do feel that Yeri is the one that's always presenting new experiences and offering these new ideas that kind of Irene kind of just goes like, yeah, let's go for it. Why stop, right? So anyway, how does Irene see Yeri? We have the Two of Swords. And how does Yeri see Irene? We have the Three of Cups. Okay, so from Irene's perspective, she sees Yeri as someone that is a bit indecisive, someone that is always like, we could do this, we could do that. And if that's the case, I guess it makes sense that Irene will kind of come forward as the one that is like, let's just do this, let's do this other thing or this other thing, right? Like she's never holding back. She's never the hesitance that Yeri could have of like, what if we do this or what if we do that, or you know, kind of like checking the opportunities and figuring out which one's the best one. Irene just kind of comes through and is like, why don't we try that one, let's do this other one, right? Again, Irene comes in with an energy where she's trying not to overthink things, she's not trying to overcomplicate anything, she just wants to experience life and just kind of do things, right? So I do feel, you know, she's just following her heart. That is her not her role, but that's the energy she brings into this dynamics, right? So this Two of Swords is that she sees Yeri as someone who holds back a lot, or someone that thinks about their options thoroughly and very carefully before making a decision. My fingers are very itchy right now. I don't know if that means anything. There's swans here, there's a little heart and a hummingbird. I do feel that also with the imagery of this card, Irene also sees Yeri as someone that is a bit closed off, or someone that doesn't really open up to other people. I guess the darkness and the moon kind of comes into that as well. So I do feel that maybe Irene sees how hesitant Yeri could be sometimes, and how closed off and guarded Yeri is, or has become. I do feel that there may have been a point where Yeri was a little bit more open, and Irene hasn't seen that side of Yeri, and how over time Yeri may have evolved to be a little bit more closed off and reserved. I do feel that this is because of self-preservation, actually. Now, the way that Yeri sees Irene is as someone that she can have fun with, someone she can go out and drink with, someone that she can just go out and celebrate with, someone that, Yeri feels like she can go to Irene and just celebrate her accomplishments, or celebrate life, or just be happy, right? The Three of Cups usually talks about like going out and hanging out with friends, just having fun, enjoying life. So I do feel that in this case it's very straightforward. Yeri has a lot of fun just hanging out with Irene and just doing things and just hanging out. Like, they really just have a very good dynamic, and I do feel that Yeri just feels very comfortable with Irene and just having fun. Okay, so how do Irene and Yeri like to spend their time together? Oh, a couple cards came out. We have bushfires with the keyword fury, and we have snow with silence. Okay, if these two cards together don't talk about chaos, I don't know what does. Because with bushfires, it kind of shows like there's this hot and cold dynamic that Irene and Yeri have. So the way that they like to spend their time together is just chaos. They like to go out and, do what they're passionate about, do what inspires them, whatever is fueling them at that moment. They like to go for it. They like to bicker. They like to fight. Not fight as in like punch each other, but like, banter, bickering, that type of thing, right? They like to just kind of talk to each other and just, when they're angry, kind of talk to each other to let go of that anger, or just if they're angry, it's like, how do we spend this energy? Let's go have fun. Let's just go do something fun. And they like to be chaotic in that sense, right? So very strong fire in one side. And then the other way that they like to have fun is just doing nothing. So with the snow card right here, it definitely feels like there are times when they just need to calm down and unwind. And maybe they don't talk to each other, and they kind of just maybe sit next to each other, or maybe just kind of hang out by not saying anything. I think they both really respect the side of themselves that likes to go on adventures and just enjoy life, and they also respect the other side of themselves when they kind of go in hermit mode and they're like, I do not want to see people right now, or I do not want to talk to anyone, and just kind of enjoy the moment. So I do feel that there's good and bad in both cards, in the sense of like with the bushfire card, it kind of goes like they like to be chaotic and have fun, just follow their passions, go on adventures in life, or they like to be chaotic and create problems and just banter and bicker. And with the snow card, it feels like they like to just enjoy silence, when they're sad, or things are not going their way. They like to just be in silence and kind of bring themselves back together. Or sometimes when they're doing nothing, they're tired, or they just kind of don't really feel in the mood of chaos, they kind of just like to just kind of be in silence, not necessarily having to talk to each other, and just enjoying the energy and presence that they both have to offer in their dynamics, right? Like, they kind of just don't force themselves to talk to each other. They don't force themselves to always do something, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, there's good and bad with both cards. Okay, let's go on to the next part. So what does Irene like about Yeri? A lot of things, apparently. So we have Justice, we have the Fool reverse, and we have the Nine of Wands. Okay, and what does Yeri like about Irene? We have the Two of Coins reverse. I'm gonna take out one more card for a clarifier. And the Lovers reverse. Sure. I think I know what that means. I think. So let's start with Irene's side. So from Irene's side, we have Justice, the Fool reverse, and the Nine of Wands. The first thing that I thought of was that the thing that Irene likes about Yeri is that defense mechanism that I talked about earlier. The Nine of Wands kind of talks about that. Someone that is cautious, someone that has their defenses up, someone that has gone through a lot, has seen through a lot, and lived through a lot, and because of that, they have seen how bad things can get. They have taken action, and things don't always work out. And because of that, there is this sense of someone that has put their walls up and has become more cautious about their actions. However, with the imagery of this Nine of Wands, I always see this as someone that is ready for war, someone that is ready to just push forward, someone that is ready to fight for what they believe in, fight for what they want to do in life. So I actually don't see this Nine of Wands as anything too bad in this deck. But I do feel that I had to mention the thing earlier of having defense mechanisms up and having having your walls up type of energy, because I do feel that goes with this Two of Swords that we saw earlier. And also, let me kind of go in this order because I think it also makes sense. So with the Justice card, we have Libra energy in a sense of balance, being for fairness. That's kind of what I wanted to say, not fur. And being in a sense of harmony, being, justice kind of works with justice as well, right? So in this case, I feel that Irene really likes how Yeri's pretty fair. She doesn't, she tries to treat everyone the way that they're treating her. She doesn't, if she creates chaos, she takes chaos in return. Like, if you know what I mean? Like, if Irene sees that Yeri's being a little bit chaotic and Irene kind of throws some chaos back to Yeri's like, she can take it. She can take the hit, right? It's like, okay, yeah, maybe I push you first. I deserve to be pushed. It's fine, right? So I do feel that there's a sense of being fair, and that's something that Irene really likes. I do feel that there's a sense of, like, Irene really likes that Yeri treats her like an equal, as a human, and not necessarily like she's not afraid of her, or she, Yeri doesn't see Irene as like this untouchable power. She sees Irene as a normal human being, and I think Irene likes that, to be seen as a person. And being treated fairly, right? So it's a sense of, like, yeah, Irene is way older than Yeri, but Yeri doesn't make her feel like an old lady, and if she does, Irene will definitely tell her off and be like, I'm not an old lady. I'm pretty sure Irene has done that already, and be like, you said what? You said what old? Anyway, so with the foolish, I was gonna say, with the Fool reverse right next to it, I do feel that there's this sense of, like, Irene likes how Yeri doesn't just jump onto the unknown without, how should I put it? That cautious energy that I talked about earlier with the Nine of Wands kind of goes with the Fool energy right here. It definitely feels like there's a sense of Irene really likes how Yeri thinks things through, is trying to balance out and scale what is, like, the best outcome, what is the best options, what are the best actions, and what are, like, the best things to think about and do before jumping into the unknown. Because the Fool is like a new beginning, a new journey, it's a new chapter in life. So I do feel that Irene really likes how Yeri actually takes her time to think through things a little bit more before just jumping into the unknown and being foolish about things. So that's a skill that Yeri has gained from past mistakes. So maybe Yeri has jumped into the unknown without thinking and has caught some fire because of that. And now that Yeri has grown from those lessons and matured from that, I think Irene really likes how Yeri has learned from those lessons and grown from those experiences as well. I do feel that Irene just really likes the person that Yeri has become today. I do feel that Irene has probably seen Yeri grow up pretty much her whole life, so it's kind of like, I'm just proud to see that you've grown up to be a good person, basically, that can take care of themselves. Now, the thing that Yeri likes about Irene, when I saw that Two of Coins reverse, I was kind of confused, because the Two of Coins is like good time management and being balanced and having harmony and, like, being able to handle a bunch of responsibilities at once when it's upright. But when it's reversed, it's kind of like, what does that mean, right? So I was thinking that one of the things will be that, like, I was suspecting something to what we had said earlier. To what I said earlier with the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles reverse. But when I saw the Lovers reverse, I was like, okay, that kind of confirms what I was thinking of earlier. So with the Lovers reverse, usually upright, it talks about opportunities. It talks about communication. It talks about, I guess, soulmates and stuff along those lines will be there as well. Like, yeah, lovers, of course, it could be about love and romantic stuff. But in this case, usually the Lovers, it represents Gemini energy, which is twins. So I do feel of just soulmates, or two people that are very similar, or two people that just really get along. So it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. So with the Two of Coins reverse and the Lovers reverse, which we are talking about like opportunities, and we're talking about with the Two of Coins responsibilities. I was thinking with both of these cards being reversed, the thing that I think Yeri really likes about Irene is that Irene doesn't overcomplicate her life. Irene is not over here overthinking anything. Like, okay, let me clarify. She does overthink things, but when she's about to take action, she doesn't like to. She likes to simplify things. She likes to make things a lot simpler, so like that she doesn't continue overthinking them, right? Which we mentioned earlier that Yeri kind of has that. She is thinking a lot before taking actions. She's thinking a lot before making a decision. She's always debating and looking at her options. And on the other hand, Irene also has options. Of course she does, right? But with these two things, it's like Irene always tries to not overcomplicate her life. She's trying to not overanalyze things to the point of hesitation. She doesn't like to overanalyze something to the point of fear, right? She likes to take action, and she likes to move forward. And she likes to go about doing things in a way that she doesn't hesitate and she doesn't slow down, basically. She likes to just push forward, move forward, and continue with that, right? And because of that, I think that's what Yeri really likes about Irene, that Irene is not overcomplicating anything. She's trying to keep things simple, keep things very bare bones, very pure energy. Like, she does, like, it definitely feels like Irene doesn't like to beat around the bush about conversations, thoughts, or anything. Like, she likes to just say things how she sees it. She may be a bit timid, she may be holding back a little bit, but if she's comfortable with someone, she just says it how she sees it. Like, she's not trying to overcomplicate anything. Now let's go to the second to last question, which is, what has Irene learned from Yeri? Oh boy, a lot. She has learned a lot from Yeri. Let me put these cards away. What has Yeri learned from Irene? The Five of Coins. Oh, that's actually very nice. Okay, so the thing that Irene has learned from Yeri is the High Priestess reverse, the Queen of Wands reverse, and the Tower upright. Okay, I understand this Tower card, but let's look at the other ones a bit more. So with the High Priestess reverse and the Queen of Wands reverse, it's weird because I feel that the thing that Irene has learned from Yeri is how to, with this Tower card, how to deal with problems, conflicts, and feeling like the whole world is crumbling down to the point that it kind of affects her as a person. You know, when your environment is so crazy and so chaotic that it starts affecting you as an individual, like it starts reaching you. I do feel that type of energy that we're talking about here with a Tower is kind of like the environment crumbling down, or a situation just not working out. But then with the Queen of Wands reverse and the High Priestess reverse, it's kind of like, you know, with the Queen of Wands reverse, it's like feeling like there's no form of taking action, you know, full of negativity. There's no creativity is just not working. Like, things, it is like it's affecting their confidence. It's affecting them as people. And then the card next to it with the High Priestess reverse is kind of like not even their intuition can help them because everything's too cloudy, it's too muddy. Like, things just don't make sense, right? And I do feel that the thing that Irene has learned from Yeri is how to overcome all of those issues. It's like when things are just not working out and you're not even in the mood to do something and you can't even trust your intuition because it's so cloudy, like nothing is making sense. I feel that that's, you know, how to overcome all of that is what Irene has learned from Yeri. How to just push beyond that conflict, push beyond those difficulties, and being able to power through, basically. I do feel that that's a thing that Irene has learned from Yeri. Those, you know, how to just be cautious and move forward. Basically, there's a lot of major arcana, so I do feel that Irene has learned a lot from Yeri, and Yeri is someone very important to her because she has learned a lot from just hanging out with her. Now, the thing that Yeri has learned from Irene is this 5 of coins reverse, which basically means that Yeri has learned that she's not alone, basically. It makes me feel very emotional just kind of saying that. So I do feel that even though it's one card and the message is very straightforward and very simple, I think it boils down to this thing because this is like the most significant thing that Yeri has learned from Irene. And it's kind of like, it's not like a life lesson or anything, it's just a piece of knowledge, basically. So when Yeri feels like she's on her own, or she feels like she is left behind, like no one's out there to help her, or like there's no one out there to protect her, take care of her, or like she feels like the whole world has turned her back on her, the thing that Yeri has learned from Irene is that she's not alone, basically. That, you know, I guess Irene is like a helping hand, or Irene has taught Yeri how there's always someone out there for her, or how there's always some refuge for her out there. Like, Yeri doesn't have to do things on her own. She doesn't have to just deal with problems on her own, basically. So I do feel that's very, very significant for Yeri. That's something that she's very thankful for. She's very grateful that Irene is just in her life, and that makes sense. And that's the thing that she has learned from Irene, that she's not alone, basically. Which I think that's very nice. Anyway, let's go on to the last question, which is, why did Irene and Yeri meet? Okay, so we have, I'm not surprised, we have lake with the keyword depth, and we have passion with the keyword soul. So this is also very clear. They basically met to encourage each other to do what they love, what they're passionate about, to just enjoy life and not hold it back, to just do what makes them happy, to just see life as an adventure, to see life as something to enjoy and be happy with. So this passion card definitely feels like they met, so like that they could transform and be happy. With the butterflies, I think of transformations. I think of good messages and happy endings type of thing. I do feel that with this eye right here and this waterfall and the tree being the eyelashes, well, tree branches, I guess, being the eyelashes of this eye, it definitely feels like they met, so like that they could feel each other to follow what their passions are, to follow their dreams, to follow their desires, to mirror to each other how to continue moving forward and not to hold back, and to continue chasing their dreams. That's the reason they met, and to motivate each other and inspire as well. And with this lake card, it definitely feels like they met, so like that they could fire a spark in each other from the deepest parts of their soul, basically. So this is something that I don't know how else to explain it besides the word that I already used. So what I mentioned earlier about having a very deep relationship, I stand very strongly with that statement still. They definitely have a connection that runs very deep. A connection that many other people may not really be super aware of, because this is something between them, right? They don't really have to talk to other people about this. They just kind of get each other. So yeah, it definitely feels like they met to kind of bring life to each other again, and to continue reminding each other that there's something to fight for, there's something to live for, and there's something to strive for as well. And yeah, I think that's the biggest message here. So I'll leave that there. I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Both of them had, okay, but I say both of them, but it seems like Irene had a lot to say about Yeri. Seems like she has a lot of beautiful things to say about her, and Yeri's a little bit more straightforward about how she feels about Irene. So I do feel that they do have a very nice dynamics. It definitely feels like they're both ready for chaos and ready to just enjoy life as well. Like, it seems like they're both ready to create chaos, and also they're both ready to just retire and like do nothing and just enjoy life, right? Just chill and vibe with life. But yeah, I'll leave that there. I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this reading, you learn from it, or you find this entertaining. And let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this reading and how you felt about it, as well as your own interpretations of it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and see you in the next one.